team, the Cowboys, and the fact that I get to perform in front of millions at that stadium with the star on my helmet, I'm truly blessed. I've never taken it for granted. I'm grateful and I'm thankful.
You've certainly taken advantage of the opportunity. Now, did you get any of the turducken? Did you get any of the post-game turkey, duck, food, whatever it may be? Did you get to share a little bit of that?
Ooh, hey, I had me a nice turkey leg, a little early dinner before I get home. My mom actually got me a couple leftover plates when I get home, so I'm going to throw those in the microwave real quick, and we're going to get active. So, but that little turkey leg was a little warm-up, a little appetizer for when I get home.
There you go. I appreciate you, Demo, for taking some time here for us on Cowboys OT. Congratulations on the win tonight. Keep after it and get some rest going into Monday Night Football next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes, our player of the game, DeMarvion Overshone. He had that pick six. He also had a forced fumble as well. We'll talk more about that defensive prowess that started to become more of a recurring factor for Mike McCarthy's team, but we'll hear from the head coach when we come back right after this with more Cowboys OT. Welcome back into Cowboys OT. The Cowboys get the win 27-20 over the New York Giants at AT&T Stadium. Let's go back out to Arlington and hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he hits the podium.
Just really focused on answering some quick questions and getting the hell out of here because it's Thanksgiving. But that's where my focus is. No, I mean, you know how I feel about that. I think that, and I've done this a long time and I've said this a long time, you're really wasting your time. You're talking about narratives that are really hypotheticals because you never talk about that until you get to 10 wins. But if that's the path to it, then that's the reality of where we are. But yeah, we've just done a really solid job of staying, focused on what's up next. And having the experience of playing in the Thanksgiving game each and every year, it's important to come off that Sunday night game or get back to Sunday night when you get back and get into rhythm. So I am proud of the way they prepared and proud of the way they played. We had a number of guys go down today. There was injuries on both sides of the ball, so there was a lot of ebb and flow up and down to that football game, and I just think the complimentary football really, and it started with our defense, with the big turnover, the pick six. I mean, just what an incredible play, and it really got the crowd going, and really, I felt like the whole atmosphere changed after that. So I'm just proud of them, the way they're staying after it. It's one game at a time. But you do look festive in your Thanksgiving outfit. I think we all should take note.
Mike, Todd Archer, the ESPN. I don't know if you know this, but it's your first home win.
Wow, really? Thanks, Todd. Boy, happy Thanksgiving to all you guys too. I mean, you're just coming right out of the gate.
You finally get that, though. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long. Obviously, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think you can't. I mean, you have to recognize, the way we've played in the past here. And the crowds are, it's an incredible place to compete. Our fans are great, and So yes, it's definitely overdue. So it was important to get the win on a lot of fronts, but it was really, really important to get a home win.
You can hear the rest of head coach Mike McCarthy on DallasCowboys.com. Back here with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. You heard there, and maybe a little extra frustration from McCarthy, because it's true. There's a lot lifted off your shoulders over the last 4 days. You get that 5-game losing streak out of the way. You get the 5-game home losing streak out of the way. Now,
2-game winning streak.
You got a 2-game winning streak. You're starting to stack some good games, and you can continue attacking the rest of your schedule. Feels like both McCarthy showing a little frustration, but also maybe a little relief in there as well.
Without a doubt. I mean, he had some spice to his response.
The pumpkin spice?
Yeah, a little bit of spice to his response right there. But to me, you know, it's coach talk. But like McCarthy said, you just gotta kind of stack these things one by one. You can't worry about, you know, the future. And if you win this game or win that game, we might be able to sneak in this way. You gotta go game by game in this league. This is a week-by-week league, and momentum is a real thing. Confidence is a real thing, especially when you talk about football and when football is concerned. When you go out there, how many teams have we seen would sneak into the playoffs just because they won the last couple games, get into that wild card round, and next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl? I mean, things like that happen all the time. I'm not saying that's going to happen here with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm pumping the brakes on that one, but I'm saying momentum is a real thing, and with the Cowboys, what they have to do is to continue to stack these games, take it week by week, game by game, play by play, and they'll be just fine. These guys are starting to hit their momentum at the right time.
You're the Dallas Cowboys. Expect this, coach. This comes with the package, baby. I mean, I'm glad you didn't go all at him with the pumpkin spice. I'm glad you held down a little bit. But hey, this is how it go. And Isaiah, you know this how it ride, and you know Church this is how it ride. And even Kyle Yeomans know Dallas Cowboys. That star means something. It's nationwide, baby. Everybody see you.
Yeah, it's just a turnaround, though, right? You go from in a 4-day span, you go from a 5-day losing streak to a 2-game winning streak. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy in this league, right? So you talk about the momentum aspect. Momentum is real, and momentum is a thing for players. For those of you that are sitting at home watching us right now, all the players sitting up here, we understand that once you have some good things going, some good mojo, football becomes fun again. And once it becomes fun again, then it's less of a job. Once it becomes less of a job, now we can start laughing and joking and planning celebration dances like Demo just talked about. Like, that's when you know you're having fun. You sit at the house practicing, okay, when I make this play, this is what I'm going to do. Ball's fun, right? Ball's fun. And then guess what? The guys that are injured that can be huge contributors to this team as well, like D-Law, Trayvon Diggs, those guys like that, all of a sudden, guess what? This shoulder, it's feeling a little bit better. Not too bad. Maybe, Coach, I will practice this week. You know what? Now I have FOMO. Now I have a fear of missing out on the fun on the field. So now all of a sudden your team gets better because now you have more guys who are good or competitive want to be a part of this thing. So you have an opportunity to go in and play against what? You got 3 teams that have losing records. You have 1 team that you've already beat and 1 team that you got to knock down in the Eagles. You got a chance. You got a chance. Now, it didn't look that good a couple weeks ago or 4 days ago, but now you're on a 2-game winning streak. That's it.
What's FOMO now?
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll teach you
Keep me up. Y'all know I'm old, man. I'm behind.
We'll give you all the acronyms you want. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. All right, when we come back, it's taken 47 games, but Rico Dowdle finally hit the century mark as a professional in the NFL. He had over 100 yards rushing. We'll hear from Rico right after this. Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco. Cowboys get the win. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium. It's taken 47 games. 47, now it's his first year, everybody, as a starter. But Rico Dowdle has a century mark in a professional football game. He went for 107 against the Giants today. Here's what he had to say after the win.
Definitely felt great. We've been disappointing pretty much at home, but definitely that first one felt good. And winning always feel good on Thanksgiving and stuff too, especially. But definitely felt great to get that first home win. Needed it. Big one.
First 100-yard game for you. Really for the Cowboys running backs since week 3 of last season. How good does that feel to kind of get that 100-yard rush and see you guys run the ball like you did?
It felt great. Got to give all the credit to those guys up front. They were able to get movement, a little bit of space, and we were able to make it go, and paid off well for us. But definitely feel great getting that first one, for sure.
Rico, you mentioned the guys up front. You're dealing with a lot of different bodies because of injuries and stuff. Just how impressive has it been for those guys to step up into their roles?
Very impressive. Honestly, if you watch last week and this week, I think those guys did a hell of a job up front. But that just come with the preparation those guys put in and staying ready for when that opportunity comes and making the most of it. So kudos to them, for sure.
Earlier in the season, you talked about getting a lot of carries helps you get in a rhythm and get consistent. Do you feel like you're finally able to do that in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, for sure. I've been firm on that since the beginning with the flow, getting in that rhythm, and I think it's shown for itself. It speaks for itself, and definitely.
What are they doing this on Thanksgiving and this audience on this day? What does that mean to you, this performance in this moment?
That means a lot. Like I said, thanks for everybody coming out. Time to go eat for sure, but definitely means a lot. Come out here and have this type of performance. Like I said, get a credit to those guys up front. Get my first rushing touchdown for the season and my first 100-yard game. So definitely feels good for me and means a lot to get that dub. Definitely needed this win.
Is that crazy to say?
Yeah, not only was it the first 100-yard rushing game for Rico Dowdle, but it was also his first rushing touchdown of the year as they get the win over the Giants. Here are the offensive stats. 1 time of possession again. We're much more efficient on third down, Nate. That was something that you had a knock against them last week against Washington. They were just 4 of 14. Now it's 7 of 15, taking a step forward. What do you think, Nate, when you look at these stats and how they performed today?
Just balance. Just balance. That's what we need is balance. I mean, CD had the drops today, but overshown. Schoonmaker. Yeah, I'm sorry, Schoonmaker.
Overshown was great, too.
Overshown was great, but Schoonmaker made some great plays.
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert made some great plays. So these guys came up big. They played hard. And when you get third down and you see, 47%, that is a great thing. That means that you have great balance with your offense.
Isaiah, in the pregame show, you said your key to the game was scoring 3 touchdowns.
Got him.
They did that. They did that today. Did you see enough from the offense to build that confidence moving forward?
I saw flashes of opportunity. I didn't see consistent play outside of the running game, which was obviously huge, and I love seeing that. But in the passing game needs to get cleaned up a lot. But there was an intentionality in terms of getting the ball to Brandon Cooks and in terms of getting the ball to Kevontae Turpin. Those are huge contributors. Kevontae Turpin is your big play guy. They recognize that now off of what he did last week against Washington, not on the reception that he had, but on the kickoff return. And they said, maybe it's time to get this guy the ball. And if we have trouble getting him the ball down the field, let's get it to him at the line of scrimmage. And then Brandon Cooks came in and made some huge catches for you as well. He only had 3 catches. One of them was a touchdown. One of them was to end the ball game, obviously, on a first down play. So you're starting to figure that out offensively. Now, if you can get that going along with CeeDee Lamb and get the tight end game going, now you're cooking with something. But there were some glimmers of hope. It's just the consistency that has to happen.
Yeah, I liked what Coach McCarthy was able to do when you talk about getting your playmakers the ball in space, especially with Kevontae Turpin on a couple of those reverses. You saw what Rico Dowdle could bring to the table. I mean, his vision was excellent today. He was hitting all the holes, and kudos to that offensive lineman for creating those holes for him to run in. But what impressed me most about this offense was your main guy, your top dog, CeeDee Lamb. He wasn't able to get it going today. For whatever reason, had a couple drops out there, wasn't able to be that top dog that we're used to seeing. but you saw the other pieces pick up. You saw Cooks out there score a touchdown. You saw Schoonmaker make a couple plays out there. Tolbert out there as well was able to make plays. So to me, I like the rest of the guys being able to step up when your top dog wasn't available, and Mike McCarthy was able to play, have some great play calls out there to get his offensive playmakers the football. And like I said, Rico had a heck of a game out there, so you had that balance that we talked about with this offense, and that's when I think you get the most productive offense out there is when you're balanced.
Well, and that's the thing about this game specifically. You had two things that worked really well for you, the run game and the defense. The defense played tremendous throughout this game. Ended up with 6 sacks, including a sack and a half from Micah Parsons, who also had 4 QB hurries. We'll hear from the Lion himself here from AT&T Stadium on Cowboys OT in just 1 minute. Micah Parsons led the way with 1.5 sacks in the win against the New York Giants. He was second in quarterback hurries, though. Carl Lawson had 5 QBHs in the win over New York. But let's hear from the Lion himself in the locker room following the win.
Back-to-back wins. How's it feel going into the short week?
It feels good. Now my focus is heading to the Bengals, understanding how they're going to attack us and, who they got. They got some dudes. Hopefully we get D-Law back and maybe, Trayvon. So hopefully we fully loaded, and I know they're going to be fully loaded. So, I'm looking forward to that.
You guys are back to creating takeaways on this defense. Is it about getting comfortable with Zim's style and making it all play?
Yeah, man. You got to think it was a learning period. Everyone's understanding new defense. Zim's a lot more creative and demanding how they want people to play the gap. So it was challenging a lot of the interior guys to play new ways, the corners to play new ways. I think at this point everyone's comfortable, everyone's locked in, And then you got to think, as soon as we was trying to get comfortable, injuries. It was like bang, bang, bang. So you got to call some guys up that was probably never going to get the opportunity, and they got to learn the system. And, they was probably comfortable, like, I got Micah and D-Law in front. I'm probably, not going to get much. And it's like, boom, it's right there in front of you. So it tells you always got to be prepared. You always got to stay prepared. And I think at this point in the season that everyone's ready.
Can you talk about the home victory for the fans, and it was on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we got to be thankful for that. On Thanksgiving, got to be thankful, man. Super appreciative, super blessed that we came out here and put on the show today.
How does it impact your game?
So there's Micah Parsons. You can hear the rest of his interview post-game on DallasCowboys.com as well. Here is the defensive number all the way across the board. I like that sacks right there. 6 sacks. You had guys and contributions from multiple guys on that defensive front. That's why at the end of the game you saw the turducken shared amongst the defensive line from the Fox players of the game. Eric Kendricks had a sack and a forced fumble. You had Donovan Wilson with a sack. Osa Odighizuwa got one. Mozzie Smith got in on the action. He had a sack and for 3.5 yards, 3 combined tackles. We talked about Micah and Carl Lawson as well. Barry, you're our defensive representative.
Okay, defensive stars. Okay,
I was going to say star. Yeah, that's exactly superstar.
There it is.
Are you seeing the growth that you wanted to see from Mike Zimmer's unit over the last few weeks?
Yes, especially these last 2 weeks. I mean, when you look at what they were able to do to the Commanders last week, they made life, very hard for Jaden Daniels back there as far as getting after him. And the same thing happened in this game with Drew Lock. He just didn't seem comfortable at all in the pocket. He didn't seem cool, calm, and collected. And he looked like he was running for his life pretty much the entire game. And that's where this defense, you get the most out of this defense, is when they're able to pin their ears back, get after the quarterback, play with a lead, and create turnovers. And that's exactly what we've been wanting to see from this defense all season long. They're starting to get that momentum. It's been week by week, started with the Commanders, now the Giants. Now they got to take their game to the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see what happens when Burrow and those guys come to town. But overall, I like what I'm seeing from this Dallas Cowboys defense.
They're slowing down that run. They rushed for 116 today, so
Yep.
they slowing down that run. And our guys are pass rushing guys. They like to get after that passer. And when you can slow down the run and get, let Mozzie hold that middle. I mean, he held the middle pretty well today. So when they slow down that run, they just turned loose Overshown, they turned loose Parsons, and all the rest of those guys. And Eric Kendricks and Overshown, they're super match.
Yeah, sure tacklers, man. You got Overshown running around, flying around like a madman, hitting anything moving, and you got Eric Hendricks, who just once he gets his hands on you, you're coming down to the ground. So that combination is really good at the second level there. I mean, then obviously the front line. You talk about Lawson, somebody that you didn't expect productivity out of. He's showing up in a major way. You still got Osa presenting pressure on the inside, and you got Micah doing Micah things. It's coming together. It's slowly coming together. Now, whether that's the personnel, whether that's the scheme, we don't know. Maybe it's a combination of both. But they're starting to play better. And even though they had the 6 sacks tonight, the number that I like even more than just the sacks is the quarterback hits. Because, yeah, if you get sacked, I'm going down, and usually it results in a negative play. But those hits add up, right? Even if I get the ball off, you hit me, now I got my head on a swivel, and I'm not going to finish my throw. I'm not going to transition my weight. All those kind of things turn into eventual turnovers. So those hits on the quarterback have an impact. And trust me, when Joe Burrow's watching that film, he not only is he going to see those sacks, but he's going to see how many times doggone Drew Lock was on the ground and how many times he got hit in his back. And that's going to be the thing that has him releasing the ball earlier than he wants.
And don't look now. Some people may not want to say it super loud, but I'm going to say it here. Mozzie Smith has been playing better football over the last month of the season.
That's fair.
From that moment back at home against Philadelphia, I know that game didn't go your way, neither did Houston. But those 2 games, he played decent. He's played good football the last 2 weeks. Last week against Washington, and then again against the Giants, where he had his best outing of the year of his career back in week 4 against the Giants. He replicated that again today. So positive on the defensive front, especially when you've got a former first-rounder taking steps in the right direction. Speaking of steps in the right direction, Cooper Rush continues to look more and more comfortable at quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll hear from current QB1 when we come back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Cooper Rush didn't have his best game as quarterback for the Cowboys. Finished with about 50% completion percentage, just the 1 touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks, but it does result in another win. He's now 2-2 as the starter for the Cowboys this year. Here's what he had to say after the game.
Yeah, we just needed that one last week, kind of get the ball rolling. We, felt that victory feeling in the locker room post game last week, and really proud of everyone on a short week. It's always tough, always hard, and another game of complimentary football. Turnovers turned to touchdowns, defense playing well in the first half again. So I think everyone's kind of coming together, feeling good about it.
Last week people were talking about winning out. Is that a feeling, a real feeling in this locker room? Y'all can get back in this playoff thing about winning out.
Yeah, that's always the goal, and just on to the next one now.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. Cooper, having Brandon Cooks back out there, what did that do for you as a quarterback in this offense?
It's big. I mean, a veteran guy, it's, made big catch after big catch throughout his whole career. Can do a lot of different things, receiver-wise, and showed up today in big moments. Touchdown, great catch running through the ball there, and then the last play at third down, kind of put it out there a little too far, but he made a great play, and sometimes it comes down to that.
Cooper Rush talking about really the overall arching offensive feel and the confidence moving forward. You liked what he had to say there. Right?
I like it. It's ownership.
Yeah.
That's ownership. It wasn't a good ball. Yeah. The ball was out too far. It was the right decision, but it was a bad ball. And instead of us sitting up here having to critique that or somebody else looking at it and be like, oh, that ball was terrible. He just owned it. He's like, yeah, it was a bad ball, but, we have a veteran receiver out there who's made plenty of catches like that in his career. That's owning your mess, man, and I love everything about that. That's not out there saying, oh, yeah, I threw a nice dime, and he just, made the catch like he always. No, I threw a bad ball. It could have been better, but guess what? He's a heck of a playmaker.
No interceptions.
That's it.
No interception. Don't turn the ball over. You heard Tom Brady talk about it. Just keep being patient, keep working on your craft, and things should work out in the end.
Yeah, you're 1,000% right, Nate, when you talk about not turning the football over. We talk about it in our pregame show. We talk about it all season long. You win the turnover battle, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the game. 0 turnovers for the offense, 2 takeaways for the defense. They were able to come out on top. And I love what Cooper Rush is doing. He's getting this balanced attack going. He's making all the right decisions out there. He's getting everyone involved. I know we talked about it earlier in the season where this offense seemed like it was just CeeDee Lamb or bust. If CeeDee Lamb's not able to have a big game, then the offense is just going downhill. Well, in this game, CeeDee Lamb didn't have his best game. Only had 2 catches, I believe, 29 yards, I believe, if I'm correct with that. But everybody else stepped their game up. You saw Schoonmaker out there making plays. You saw Turpin. You saw Tolbert out there. Cooks with the touchdown as well. So, to me, if you can get all these guys involved, it makes it that much harder for defenses to just zone in on one guy and shut down your defense when you got all the other playmakers getting involved as well. So, I love what Cooper Rush and his offense was able to do this afternoon.
Well, you see that confidence starting to grow from unit to unit as well. The defense did their job in earlier games that didn't go your way. Now that confidence is starting to move to the offensive side of the ball. Do you feel like they have enough firepower with all the injuries up front? I know CeeDee Lamb was a little banged up in this game. He didn't play well even in the first parts of it. But with everything that's happened offensively, offensive line, some of these weapons, do you still feel like they have enough to take a step forward as the year goes on?
It's tough to say right now. It's tough to say right now if they have enough firepower to get the job done going forward. I mean, CeeDee Lamb didn't have his best game, but you were able to get your auxiliary pieces to play as well. Now, when they're all combined and having great games all together, this offense may look different. But as of right now, I would have to say it's going to be tough for me to just go ahead and pinpoint like this offense has enough to go all the way. I'm not quite sure right now, but we'll see as this season progresses.
It's going to be a strain. I mean, you're just starting to win, so she's still working out a whole lot of kinks. When CeeDee Lamb is on fire, this team still will have to strain to get wins. You have to play almost perfect football. Not a lot of penalties, no turnovers can be had. So, yeah, it's going to be always hard for this team. This team is young, got a lot of young players going. You got a lot of moving parts. Yes, it's going to be hard for this team.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Nate Dogg. They do not have enough firepower to answer your question, Kyle. They don't have enough firepower to compete with the big dogs on campus, but that doesn't mean that you can't go out there and win ball games, but it's going to be gritty, right? It's going to be nasty. We talk about the game against Pittsburgh. That's one of your big wins this year, and you took out a very high AFC woe, and them boys is out there grinding it out, right? You found a way to get the victory. That's how it's going to be. Everything has to be almost perfect. The number one thing that matters is not turning the ball over because you can't afford to give up opportunities. You got to try to connect on every single opportunity, whether that's you getting the ball across the 50-yard line and saying, hey, buddy Aubrey, hey, money, take care of business, okay? All right, go ahead and kick this thing through the goalpost. Or you go out there and find a way to get the running game going, or CeeDee Lamb make some plays, whatever it might be. Yeah. You have to find ways to get the ball and get some points. And you can't give it up. And you just resting assured in your defense and go out there and make some plays. But they're going to be gritty wins if you want to go out there and find your way in position to talk about playoffs.
Well, they need to get a gritty win next time out. They've got a long break up until Monday Night Football in next week's slate of NFL games. What can the Cowboys do between now and then to have some success against the Cincinnati Bengals who come to town for Monday Night Football? We finish Cowboys OT right after this.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
3 games in 11 days. The Cowboys win 2 of them as they take down the Giants 27-20. Now they get to enjoy the long break, almost a mini bye going into Monday Night Football of Week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Barry, where do the Cowboys need to take a step forward in order to get their 3rd straight win?
Well, continue, to break down the film and what you do best and kind of critique yourself, but also get healthy. I mean, you got a nice little break here before that Monday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals. You may get some pieces back on the defensive side of the ball, some Pro Bowl, all-pro style players. So hopefully that can help you go for this latter part of the season.
Chuma Adoga had to finish the game for Tyler Guyton. Get healthy, Tyler, because we need to get some consistency on this offensive line if we're going to continue to have a balanced attack.
That's a good one.
Yeah, this is a mini bye, so take full advantage of the time that you have. You heard these guys talk about getting healthy, getting your body rested, but watch film. Coaches, get in your bag, study, get whatever kind of advantage that you can strategically, because you're going to go up against an offense that can put up a ton of points. What are you going to do offensively that's going to be able to combat what they're doing, and defensively, can you slow those guys down?
That's going to do it for us here on Cowboys OT. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. You guys take a little break. You ate a lot of that mac and cheese early. You've earned it, man. You have earned it, no doubt about it. For Isaiah, Barry, Nate, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next week. Cowboys OT. Remember, not a Sunday night game, a Monday Night Football matchup as the Bengals come to town. Cowboys beat the Giants 27-20.